The dream of owning a home in America might just have gotten a major and very controversial new lifeline from the White House. Good morning, it's Monday, June 16th. Welcome to the briefing where we get you up to speed in about 10 minutes. Also, today new warnings from the Pentagon about a no-go zone in the South China Sea, and why the biggest names in tech are on Capitol Hill today for a showdown over the future of artificial intelligence. But first, let's break down the president's big and very risky bet on the American housing market. Our lead story this morning, the White House is proposing what it calls a new deal for homeownership. This morning, the Biden administration officially unveiled its long-awaited housing plan named the American Dream Affordability Act. The centerpiece is a bold proposal for massive federal subsidies. These are designed to help first-time homebuyers with their down payments, which for many is the single biggest barrier to owning a home. The plan specifically targets individuals and families with incomes below 150% of their area's median income. And it's not just about helping buyers. The plan also includes significant tax incentives for construction companies to build more affordable starter homes rather than focusing only on luxury apartments and condos. So why does this matter to you? Well, first let's talk about your wallet. If you are one of the millions of Americans trying to scrape together a down payment in this market, this plan could be a game changer. We're talking about the potential for direct federal assistance that could slash that initial hurdle and make a mortgage application possible. And for renters, the long-term hope is that a surge in new affordable construction could finally start to cool down record high rent prices across the country. But here is the catch. This is a huge economic gamble, and the opposition is already lining up. Critics, mainly Republicans, and a number of prominent economists are already calling it an inflationary fire hose. They argue that by pumping billions of dollars into the demand side of the housing market without an immediate increase in the supply of homes, the plan will simply cause prices to skyrocket even further. The fear is that it could help a few people get into a home now, but make the market even more unaffordable for everyone else in the long run. This sets the stage for a brutal fight in Congress, and you can be sure this will be a central issue heading into the next election cycle. It pits the dream of homeownership directly against the fear of inflation. And a little context here, this proposal comes after nearly 5 years of soaring home prices and mortgage rates that have pushed the possibility of buying a home out of reach for an entire generation of millennials and Gen Z. Our next story takes us across the Pacific, where the Pentagon has effectively drawn a new red line. Overnight, the Pentagon declassified and released a new sobering report. It includes detailed satellite imagery confirming that China has successfully deployed its most advanced anti-ship ballistic missiles on several of its fortified man-made islands in the South China Sea. These are the infamous Carrier Killers missiles specifically designed to target and destroy a U.S. aircraft carrier from hundreds of miles away. Okay, a report about missiles on islands thousands of miles away. Why should you care? First, think about your stuff. Nearly 1/3 of all global trade sails through those waters. That means your iPhone, the parts for your car, your Nike sneakers, your furniture from overseas, it all passes through there. Military analysts we spoke with say, these new missile deployments create a credible no-go zone for the U.S. Navy and, importantly, for commercial shipping during a crisis. Any conflict, or even just the threat of one, could cause a supply chain heart attack. And that means shortages on shelves and higher prices for you at the store. Second, this is about global security. This is not just a defensive move. It's a major strategic power play by Beijing. It directly challenges the U.S. Navy's ability to operate freely in the Pacific, which has been a cornerstone of American foreign policy for more than 70 years. This puts enormous pressure on the White House and the State Department to respond to show strength, but to do so without triggering a wider and much more dangerous conflict. The timing of this is critical. This report lands just weeks before a scheduled high-stakes summit between the U.S. president and his Chinese counterpart, dramatically raising the tension and the stakes for that meeting. And finally, back in Washington, a reckoning over artificial intelligence is underway on Capitol Hill. Today, in a scene that feels like it's straight out of a movie, the chief executives of OpenAI, Google, DeepMind, Anthropic, and other AI giants are all testifying before a Senate Judiciary Subcommittee. They are there to discuss a landmark bipartisan bill. This bill aims to create the first real comprehensive federal regulations for artificial intelligence in the United States. This is not just tech jargon. This debate will shape the next decade of your life, your work, and your privacy. There are two key battlegrounds to watch. First, let's talk about your job. A central part of the bill proposes a worker displacement fund. This would be funded by a new tax on major AI companies. The money would be used to retrain American workers whose jobs are automated or significantly changed by AI. The fight is over how big that fund should be. Democrats are pushing for a robust safety net, arguing it's essential for a just transition. Republicans and the tech companies counter that a heavy tax could stifle innovation and slow down American competitiveness. This is a direct conversation about the future of work in America. The second major flashpoint is your data. Lawmakers are expected to grill these CEOs with very simple, direct questions. Questions like, is my personal data, from my private emails, my family photos, and my work documents being used to train your AI models, and can I opt out? The answers they give, or the answers they avoid, could fundamentally change your relationship with the technology you use every day. The big picture here is that this is America trying to figure out how to put guardrails on a technology that is evolving faster than anyone can keep up with. The outcome will help determine whether the US leads the world in responsible AI or if it falls behind. And for context, this hearing is the culmination of more than 2 years of intense public fascination and anxiety ever since generative AI tools first exploded into the mainstream. So the big takeaways to start your day: a controversial White House plan could shake up the housing market for millions. Tensions with China are ratcheting up in a critical global waterway. And right now in Washington, the battle to control AI is officially underway. What should you watch for today? Throughout the day, we will be watching Wall Street's reaction to that housing proposal. Expect the stocks of home builders to be volatile. We will also keep an eye on any fiery exchanges from that Senate AI hearing, and we are expecting a formal and likely angry response from Beijing to the Pentagon's report. We will have updates on all of that tomorrow. That's what you need to know to get ahead of the day. For links to the Pentagon report and a breakdown of the housing bill, you can visit our show notes or our website at thebriefing.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.